I am always intrigued by the amount of the lost mines there are out there. It sometimes baffles me how so many people over the years just stumbled upon some rich glory hole or vein of gold, and then, somehow just forgot where it was. Or in some other cases, where it's not until some old prospector is on his deathbed, does he reveal the spot of that secret source of gold. It doesn't seem to matter that the latter lived in poverty all his life, but it always makes for a good story. The lost Croslin mine is an interesting story also. John Croslin was a shepherd that tended sheep as they roamed about the hills and valleys of Utah. Being a devout Mormon, he took his profession and beliefs very seriously. One day he was out tending to his flock of sheep, and they all seemed contented with grazing in a certain area. John decided to leave his sheep unattended as he wanted to explore a bit of the surrounding countryside. He hadn't been away long, and when he returned to his flock of sheep, he noticed some of them had slipped away and were grazing up on the side of a hill. John managed to round up his flock, and then went after the others up on the hillside. While climbing the hill, he stumbled in some brush, and then noticed some white quartz-like rock, with a band of gold color running through it. Now, of course John wasn't a prospector, or a geologist, but he did know what he saw, and what he saw was gold. Being an ordinary fellow, who was just a sheep herder, he didn't know what to do about this find, and thought it best to talk to the preacher at the church. After talking to the preacher, it was advised that he talk to the leader of the Mormon church, Brigham Young. So he set off to Salt Lake City, and talked to the leader himself. When the leader Brigham Young heard the story, he told John to leave it be. "Don't tell anyone about the gold," he said. "Tell not a soul, otherwise both you and them will be cursed." John went away, back to his sheep herding, and never told a soul. But some people knew something was up, and rumors were that he had found gold. They knew John had seen something, so they would ask him questions, but John held strong to his word and kept silent. Years later, a distant relative of John's was in the area, and was trading bits of raw gold for goods and services. People started talking again about where this person had gotten the gold, and being a relative to John, they assumed John had maybe told him of the secret find of gold. Had the relative found that source of gold? Or had he brought it from somewhere else? No one knew exactly, but then one day the relative was found dead in the hills outside of town. Was he murdered? How did he die? No one ever found out, but John knew it was the curse that Brigham Young had told him about years earlier. A short time later, John himself would end up dead, while helping out at a sawmill. There had to be a curse to this gold for sure. Soon rumors were running like wildfires about the hidden lost gold. A couple of brothers supposedly had a map that John had drawn, and the brothers ended up fighting over the map. One brother ended up shooting the other for the map and then skipped town, never to be seen again. Then one day, Bill Hickman, who was an outlaw, came to town. He set up to conspiring with John's widow, as maybe John had told her where the gold is. Supposedly they went off into the hills looking, but no one knows for sure. A short time later, Bill Hickman showed up dead in another state, and John's widow was all alone and shunned by the neighbors and the rest of the Mormon church members. To this day, the lost mine of John Croslin has never been found. Some say that the lost Croslin mine was actually the Lost Roads mine, but we may never know, because you see, dead men don't talk. I hope you enjoyed this story about the cursed Croslin gold mine. Please like, share and subscribe so we can make more of these stories to share.